Hello and welcome to what I think is going to be our last installment of the InsightCM 1.0 SDK training. So far we have authorized our device with the server, we have pulled in configuration from the server, we have mutated that configuration into our application type defs, we've distributed that configuration to all the relevant threads, we have then implemented the features to enable and disable metrics and published those metrics as tags to the server in the format that he expects. And then finally today we are going to add the TDMS schema required for our TDMS files to show up in Data Explorer. And and we'll also add the SDK call which transfers those files to the server. So this I'll show you in the data logger where we're currently logging data is in this logging thread. So let's open him up. And there is this API that's in each of these cases. We have new file and write block and write properties and close file. So we have this class which has this data logging API. And what I'm going to do is inside of here, there's no particular schema that's being followed. It's just kind of this arbitrary writing of properties. So what we're going to do is replace this with an API that follows our schema. And the schema is documented, and it will be available on the InsightCM page along with the rest of the files that you see here. But I've included an example API that I wrote here inside of this example directory called Insight Files, and that's this final directory here which we haven't touched. We have a new class. So before we were using this VDL stream to disk class, we're going to delete all of that and use this TDMS InsightCM LV class. And this will be like a one-for-one replacement. So for instance, here in this open, instead of using this VI, let's get rid of him. We're going to use this VI. And so a majority of this video we're just going to be wiring up this API. So let's get to it. Wire this up and this up. What does he want? He wants the enterprise ID and the date time. So we got date time coming in here. This is part of the message saying, hey, would you please create a file? So let's bring him in here from the top. And the file path here as well. And let's wire up this class. Now, even though we've wired up this class, it's still using the old tunnel, so we're going to have to make a new tunnel here. There we go. So now we have the new tunnel. And then the other thing that he wants are this enterprise ID, site ID, and area ID. So we are going to pull that information from, we're going to pull that information from these two new type definitions that we imported with our configuration videos. This hierarchy IDs and equipment layout. So basically what we have to do is inside of the hierarchy IDs we have a device ID. We need to take that device ID, find the component linked to it in equipment layout, then find his two parents. So we have this. Well, let's start by extracting the device ID. Alright, there's the device ID. Let's close, we're not going to use that anymore. And we're going to have, there is a file in the SDK to help us with this. So we'll do add-ons, InsightCM. Where is it at? Is it utilities? No, it's in data. It's in this TDMS thing here. Get node hierarchy. This is the key. So what it does is it takes any device ID and you feed it the equipment layout, and it does a recursive search. and it finds all. So it finds that property, and it finds all his parents. So let's do index array here, and this is going to be an array, and his value is going to be the area. Oh no, his 3 parents is area, site, and enterprise. Those are his 3 parents. So there you go. And we're going to use this VI again when it's time to write our channel properties, because we have to do the component, equipment, and something else. There's 3 more. So we will make use of this VI again. So that was one of them. So we're just going to do that in each of these cases. In the right block, we're going to get rid of this, and instead we'll use this right waveforms. Nothing special here. Just gotta wire it up. And right props, same deal. This is add trendable metrics will go in. It's the same thing as the props. We'll delete the old type def that was being used, and we'll use the new type def. There's a red dot there before, but hard to see sometimes. There we go. And then we will close the file. Just that easy. Layout, I think it's up there. Oh, where's equipment layout? Equipment layout's here. That's why it's good to label them, so you can tell which pink wire is which. And he also wants the channel IDs. That makes sense. We're going to use those channel IDs to write the rest of our device, our properties, our equipment layout properties. So that's what's happening here. Is these channel IDs are going in, and the equipment layout is also coming in. So inside of this VI, we're going to search. We're going to go by each channel ID, and we're going to search for that ID inside of the equipment layout. So that's the second instance of us using this VI. And then his three parents will be line, equipment, and component. So that's what's being written as additional properties in here. So that's what's happening there when we close that file. So now when we look at the file, we should see all of our equipment layout properties as we define them in the web. Then the last thing that we're going to do is add the VI, which transfers the file when we're done. I don't guess that's the last thing. I think we also have to do this one. We have to do this close move file. That needs to come over here. This is here just in case someone presses stop while in the middle of a file being logged. That's what that's there for. And equipment layout, I think, is it this one? I did it again, I bet. Yeah, I did it again. I think it's this one. There we go. And he also wants channel IDs. give them channel IDs. And fix all these broken wires. Channel IDs. Goes into here. Very good. How does the file get... I think maybe this should have been close move here. Yeah, I think this should have been close and move here instead of just close. Because we also want to move him to the depot in this situation also. So I think I messed that up. Channel IDs. Yes, I did. And the data depot is where's the data depot at? I know for sure it's out here. Remember, we have this sub VI which defines the depot. We'll make use of him here as well. It's being wired up. So this, one of the inputs here was the data directory, and we're just going to add the depot to that. So this basically is going to close the file, move it into the depot, and then the last step is to add the SDK VI. So it's under add-ons, InsightCM, TDMS. No, it's under send message, and there should be a send file VI. There it is. Not many inputs here. That's the new path. So once the file gets closed and moved, his new path will be outputted here. So this is basically the path including the depot. And we just need to give it the queue to CommMod, the SDK communication module. Which makes sense because all communication to and from the server goes through CommMod. So there it is. This should be ready to go. So what I'm expecting is whenever I create a file, I'm expecting the file to be automatically transferred to the server. The server will index the file, and I'm expecting that file to show up in the Data Explorer. So let's see if that happens. When I create a file, it can do it periodically, but there's also a message in the dispatcher we're going to use. Under receive message, there's this message called trigger, like device force trigger request. If the server sends this message, then I'm going to send a force trig to the analysis queue, and that will kick off a file creation. So we'll do all that from the web. So we'll also test that feature out as well. So let's run it. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Alrighty, so on the server, this is our Data Explorer, we'll be here in just a minute. On the server, there's a directory, InsightCM data final. CVDL Insight, is there stuff in here already? Oh yeah, this is some old data. So let's delete this. So I'm expecting data files to start showing up inside of here. So again, we can kick off file from the web. So we can say from the device dashboard, we can say action force trigger. Let's see if that does anything. Yep, we're writing a file. Very good. So that message worked. We'll write a couple files here. Action force trigger. And when we write, yep, we should see files start adding up here in this list as they're created. So there's 6. I think I'm expecting a 7th. Yep, there's number 7. So let's make one more. Force trigger. Yeah, I think the reason why this says 7 instead of 2 is because we had some old files in there from some previous runs before the video series. But we should have 3 files actually on the server, because I manually deleted the other ones. So there we go. CVDL Insight 2015 February 1, 2, 3 files. There it is. So these files were automatically transferred. And let's open up Data Explorer. And refresh the tree. We should see our hierarchy. There it is. NIC, second floor, training, turbine. This is the equipment layout that we created from the web. So I should be able to take RMS, drag it into this field, and we should get 3 data points. Which we do. Wonderful. Our data is now in Data Explorer. I would also, and this is cool, and so as we drag this across, we see our waveforms down here. This is excellent. Very good. So that pretty much concludes the what I was going to include here in this video series. The last thing that you can do is build this into an image and add that image to the JSON, the image ID to the plugin definition file, so that you can automatically deploy your custom image in the same fashion that you would an Insight image. I don't think I need to demonstrate that, but that would be technically the last step before commissioning this this code. So thank you for joining me, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave some comments in the NI Talk page. And I hope to be talking to some of you soon. Bye-bye.